Hello, and thanks for joining us to take this quick walkthrough of the new Concur Connect functionality. This is the second generation of the integration, and we've taken a lot of feedback from the previous versions. We've incorporated that into the latest Concur Connect, and we really wanted to showcase this for you so that as you're presenting it to your customers, you have an understanding of what's possible. Now what I've done here is I've logged into an instance of Replicon that has the Concur Connect integration enabled. To the end user, there's no difference. They're going to continue to use the Replicon product as they have in the past, or start using it if they're new customers to Replicon, and there's nothing for them to set up and configure once that's happened during the implementation. Now, of course, one of the biggest benefits of the integration is the ability to create clients and projects on the Replicon product that flow seamlessly over to Concur. So let's start with that. We'll create a client here under the Clients menu in Replicon. Clicking Clients brings up my client dashboard. I'm going to add a new client, clicking the New Client button. And from this screen, I'm going to type a name for the new client. We're going to say Ford Motor Company. Add that client to Replicon. And once that's been added, a dashboard will automatically be created for the Ford Motor Company. Now that we've created the Ford Motor Company client, let's go in and make a project and associate it with Ford Motor Company. We'll do this by clicking the Project Management tab at the top, then clicking Add New Project on the Project List screen. Then we can enter a new name for the project. New Braking Prototype Consult. I'll leave the defaults except for the client, which I will associate with the Ford Motor Company, and click the Add Project button at the bottom of that screen. Now the new project has been created. And if we wanted to associate specific tasks or team members with this project, we could do that. By default, this project has been set up with a $100 an hour billing rate, and that'll suffice for our needs. Now that we've created the client and project structure in Replicon, there's no need to recreate that on the Concur side. Both the client and the project have flowed seamlessly over to Concur. Let's go over to Concur and make some expense entries now. On this tab of my browser, you can see that I'm in the Concur interface now, entering expenses or perhaps importing them from a credit card statement, and I've created an expense report for my on-site for Ford. I'm going to go ahead and add an expense entry or two here now, an airfare one to get me to the client site in the amount of $234. Now the important fields to note here are the client dropdown, which pulls a list of clients from Replicon. There's the Ford Motor Company, so we're going to choose that one. Then what that selection does is it pre-filters the next selection, whereas project is selected. And there's the new Braking Prototype Consult project associated with the Ford Motor Company. So I can just choose those two and save that expense item. Then I can go ahead and add another one. We'll add hotel stay. We'll choose the amount. We'll choose the client again, as well as the project. I'll save the second entry. Now I have two specific items on this expense report. They're both associated with the same project and the same client. Once these expense entries are approved in Concur, they will flow seamlessly back into Replicon for reporting. Once the expense has found its way through the appropriate approvals within Concur, back in Replicon, that expense is seamlessly transferred over upon approval. This allows you to report on both time, labor, and expense amounts related to projects. And I've created a report here called the Ford Motor Company Project Update. And if I click that report, it's going to open up and run, showing me both time, labor, and expenses related to the braking prototype project that we entered towards. You can see now that it's generated, it's showing us details, and we can easily collapse that down to show summaries, grouping by client and project. And here we see both expenses and labor costs and labor billable amounts in one report. So we've taken a look at the capture of time and labor to clients and projects created in Replicon, seen those clients and projects appear in Concur without having to manually double enter them, and then approved expenses come back to Replicon, all without user intervention on behalf of the approvers.